Yo, what's up? And we back, Creative Notice. How you doing, Bobby? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you?
You know, another day, another dollar, another penny. Hard out here, man. Hard out here.
Right.
But there's a lot of topics going out there today. Kirby Smart got a mega contract extension.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, his falling right behind it. And then we got Mookie Betts with the infamous, famous shirt. Not enough African Americans in the stand.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start off with that topic. Mookie Betts, big LA Dodgers contributor. Helped them win that World Series in what was it, 2020 or 2021?
Yeah, 2 years ago, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Mm-hmm. Definitely broke my heart for the Braves. When we go up, what was up? 3-1 in that series?
You got last year. Y'all got last year. Y'all good?
Yeah, we got last year, but the year before, man, they did me dirty. It felt like the Atlanta Falcons game all over again, 28-3.
Yeah.
Get up that high just to get swept.
Whoa. We're not gonna do that. Nothing will ever make you feel like how you lost to the Braves.
Oh man, I'm telling
you. Go ahead.
Trust me, it did. But I think Mookie Betts made a very good point as there's not enough in the stand of our people.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's just our percentage in the sports league, especially with a lot of the background history of that sport and a lot that we have contributed. With a lot of players, what's a good player that one of the players that you admire a lot? What was his name? They made a movie out of
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Big influencer in that sport for the African American.
Yeah.
People to be able to get their foot into that door. And then, it's just a lot of good talent.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a lot of good talent out there. And it's like, there's no knock on nobody else, but let's try to keep it, equal to all and get all into it, and allow it to be open for more. And it's like, what do you think? Do you think it's something that's a big issue where it's being done on purpose, or do you think it's just something that's being missed out on?
Ah, man, it's so many different factors playing into it. So baseball is my favorite sport growing up. And we're always geared towards African Americans. What I'm saying, we are always geared towards football, basketball, because let's just be honest, we're naturally athletic.
Yeah.
And sometimes I believe when people look at us, coaches, potentials, man, we're like, I didn't even say it like this, but we're like cattle, and like straight up, like, think about the combine and the football. That's a big cattle ring,
Yeah.
I mean, it all is like the biggest grand scheme of things, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But but naturally we're fast, we're strong, we're quick, all that. So we're always more geared into, we're pushed to football and basketball. Those are the two main sports for, African Americans. We damn for sure dominate football and basketball. So I think it starts really, we got to start at the beginning, like growing up, like in the inner cities. Like a lot of us, we grew up in the inner cities. We grow up, let me ask you, do you remember a baseball field, or do you remember a basketball court and a football field?
It's crazy. Definitely not. You know what I grew up doing? Backyard football. Throw them up, bust them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just backyard football. That's where I definitely grew up. Or, basketball, playing in that basketball goal right there in the front yard, or somebody, wheel it out. Somebody's grabbing it. Somebody got the tire to throw it on the back just to hold it down. So if you dunk on it, it wouldn't fall over. And you got a good point, man. It's like, it's one of those sports that for some reason for us, it doesn't really, we don't gravitate to it, which is, like you said, it's pretty odd, because I mean, it's no more different to like tennis. That's another sport that we don't gravitate to, which is odd because, I mean, it's a sport that, we can definitely do. Serena Williams showed that we can do it. Go ahead.
I just want to get this off before I forget, but it's crazy because we cling to football and they don't have guaranteed contracts. Besides, Deshaun Watson is the first one to get the guaranteed contract. We're in 2022, and he's the first one to get a fully guaranteed contract. But all the years since then, nobody's had a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
But baseball is fully guaranteed. The numbers are insane.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of pressure on your ligaments. You could play up until 40, 45.
Yeah.
There's a pitcher in the league right now that's 50 years old. And he's making $12 million a year. So, and he only comes in for 2 innings, and they rotate pitches. Like, he doesn't pitch every game. So it's like, it's you would think longevity wise, it's a career. It's a career, because football and basketball are careers, but it's what you call a short-lived career. Get your money. Now, the money is exponentially crazy, and you don't have to play that long. I mean, if you take care of your money and you spend your money the right way, you can rip off that money, because these players now are getting $200-300 million contracts too. But baseball is different. But kind of go back to the beginning, to me, I remember when I played, it was either me or 2 other black players on the kid, and that's on the team, and that's including me. So I think it also has a lot to do with our upbringing. Look, man, baseball is a technical and it's a thinking man's game, not to knock, football or basketball, because they all thinking man's game. You all got to have some type of recall. Like, I have a lot of respect for football, because you got to recall. If you not, you get knocked on your head. Like, it could be life threatening. But baseball is so damn technical. If you're not doing the same move over and over and over and over, that's one time they can get you. So if you're not in the business of being repetitive and doing the same moves over time, you will get bored, which most of us get bored with that. And I also think it's baseball's fault. The MLB, they don't do a good job of promoting to the inner cities, promoting to the cities, and it's not to say inner cities, but to the cities that don't have the baseball fields. They don't have a lot of sponsorships that man, growing up, my favorite player was Ken Griffey Jr. Now I was talking to my son about this today. My son loves baseball. This is his favorite sport. He wants to go far in it. And I tell him, I said, look, you're gonna have challenges in it, just like anything. But if you want to get to the next step, you want to be great, you're gonna have to put the work in when nobody's watching. It's just this type of sport. But my favorite player was Ken Griffey Jr. I played center field. I played outfield, but mainly I played center field. I modeled my game after him. So normally, this is a normal thing. We identify with us, with somebody that looks like us, talks like us, acts like us. I identify with him. So, and that's another problem too. I think a lot of people are like, well, who can I identify with? Mookie Betts? He's one of one, right? There's a couple other players in there as well, but there's no, like, when I was growing up, there was definitive African American players. Ken Griffey Jr., Gary Sheffield, Sammy Sosa, Hank Aaron. I mean, there was
Bo Jackson,
Barry Bonds. Like, it was definitive African Americans that we all can identify with.
Well, let me ask you this real quick before you get in with some more. It's like, do we think it's something where it transitioned to a difference for the sport itself? Like, did we gravitate more to basketball and football over time? Just because of what we knew in growing up. Like, for me, when I was a young kid growing up, like I said, backyard football was a thing. And I remember growing up in Atlanta, and like at the time, my mom, we lived over in Fulton County in SWAT, Southwest Atlanta. We live in East Point. There was a park called Sandtime Park. I used to play for Sandtime Vikings. And it was a big football park for a lot of teams, Sandtime Vikings, a lot of I forgot the other kids like Cowboys and Redskins, but it was that park, and that park was literally dedicated to the football organization. Like, we had a whole football field. We had like multiple football fields. And that's something that I've, looking back at now, is like, those are some of the things that you see in, like you say, in the inner city. Is like, you see, like, if you go to New York, you see basketball, courts everywhere in New York.
Yeah.
If you go any parts of Texas football is like a big thing. But then, and I think basketball and football isn't such an expensive sport where when it comes to baseball can become very expensive, just from the bat to the glove to the cleats to just getting, like you say, your son, getting them involved in like those touring, leagues where they go and play against another league and they travel, the travel leagues.
Teams,
And they go, travel teams where they're playing Texas, but they might end up going to, Nebraska or something, Oklahoma, to go play in that league and stuff like that. That's when you start seeing little leagues. And it's crazy when you watch little leagues, you see where the ones who can afford it and the ones who can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things where, as us, I feel as if it's time for us as a people to let's focus our money on how we really want to go about it. If we want to get our kids into baseball, let's find a way to focus our income and helping them get to where we want them to be. Because, like you said, baseball is one of that sports, man. You can play that sport, like you said, like you said, the pitcher 50 years old, just like soccer. Soccer is a sport you could travel the world for free.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And soccer, only thing you're doing is you literally run up and you got stamina. You might get somebody tear, ACL from doing too much running, or, ankle or stuff like that, or groin, but it's nothing like football where it's a completely contact sport. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, like you said, man, it's always about an image. And I think that's one thing that we're missing is the image in that sport. Like in the image of basketball, we have, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. You can go all the way before them. You can go all the way to, all the way to the best of them. You know what I mean? Then you got Kevin Durant, Kyle Irving. Then you got Steph Curry, Draymond Green. You could just name them all off. Damon Lillard. You just hit them all off. Then you transition to football. You still got them all. You see what I'm saying?
See the sad. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I want to cut you off your point. Go ahead. You on the road.
Yeah, but I was just saying, just like there's a lot of images, in that sport that we gravitate to, and that's just, and truth be told, that can just be any culture where they see something in that realm of that sport, they're going to gravitate to it.
Yeah.
But I just feel as if, like you said, if we had more of an image of that in that sport, young men would love to get into it. Young women would love to get into it. It's just, it's the same thing. What these young girls come growing up now, they see a lot of African American women playing basketball. That's what they're gravitating to.
Yeah.
But the sad part about it, in softball, you don't have it. Softball is a little bit different for them because they get the recognition, but where's the next level?
Yeah.
So I think that's a different topic on another show. But
it is.
Because
this topic can go very far. I mean, it can go. I mean, it can go very far. I mean, it's also about like reaching back. A lot of the players the African American players, I believe, that are actually in the MLB right now. It's almost I don't even know if I'm gonna go this far, but it's almost like we're slowly getting back to that time where we're going to probably need another Jackie Robinson. Like somebody else, and not like to that extent, obviously, but just somebody with a household name that is going to be able to bring kids back because that one it was like when we was growing up, baseball, African Americans, we were playing it. And we were, and it still was low, but it was a lot more. I tell you what, man. So my son plays on a select team that travels, like you said. I was talking to one parent, not on our team, but another team, and he was she was telling me that she was like, "Why I'm not going to do this no more." And this is an African American parent. And I was like, "Well, why you not going to do it? It costs too much." And I'm like, "Okay, well, finances. I don't get in nobody's pockets, man. It is, everybody's different finances. But you're like, oh no, it's not that I can't afford it. It's just I think it's too much. This is what her exact words. I'd rather put my kid in football. And it's like, why do we have that mentality? Like it's become a mentality now.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, it's cheaper. It's you might not be able to think that your son can compete with with these other boys. And it's like, nah, like baseball. Baseball is for us, man. This is for anybody else. We can play the game just as well as anybody else can play the game.
Yeah.
But it takes discipline, it takes hard work, and it takes a certain type of perseverance that it's unmatched. Like because baseball is one of those games where it's not like football and basketball is it's fast moving. Something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna hit a three. Somebody's gonna dunk on somebody. In football, somebody's gonna get cracked. Everybody's gonna be like, "Ooh, we all looking for that." Baseball's not that, man. You gotta get hyped about a home run. You gotta get hyped about a double play, triple play. You know, it's a little different. So we, like you said, we're gonna have to switch our mind. And one of the last things I wanted to say, I guarantee I got a lot more to say about this we can talk about because I'm so passionate about what I love baseball, but I'm passionate about getting more African Americans playing. But I could guarantee if me and you went on the street and we did a poll, we talked to 10 different African Americans, I bet 2 or 3 of them would only like, oh, I'll watch it. I bet 2 or 3, and that's 2. I feel like it's room more 2, but I say 3 because I'm just giving them some grace. But I guarantee that's 20% out of 10 people that will not know what the hell baseball even is. Or they're like, baseball? Nah, that's crazy. Nah, I'm putting my son in football, basketball. They wouldn't even know the players. Like you're not really a big basketball fan, but you know who LeBron James is.
Oh yeah,
everybody knows. I'm just saying, but we don't have that LeBron in baseball.
Yeah.
If we had a LeBron in baseball, I do believe we would attract more. But I also believe it's baseball's fault of them not being appealing to everybody, and it's up to them. What's that old saying? I mean, not an old saying. I heard this the other day. You're gonna evolve or you're gonna evaporate.
Yeah.
I think for baseball, because they've rested on their laurels of like, oh, we're America's pastime. This is why football and basketball are superseded. Because basketball and football is invested into the product, and part of the product is the fans, and they understand that. So.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. And I wholly agree with you. And I like, shout out to Mookie Betts for the shirt, man. He got a good point. And it's no shot to any other culture. People got to understand it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts wants to look in the stands and see his people rooting for him just like everybody else root for him. He wants to see it because we embrace it, man. It's just it's a culture thing. It's no more different than a cultural thing with Asians, how they embrace their culture, their food, their clothing, their language, how they write their language. That's one thing about it's different cultures, just like the Hispanic community from Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, the Dominican Republic, Brazilians. It's a culture thing, and when you embrace your culture, it's like real quick before we move on to the next topic. If you watch soccer and you watch the World Cup, which it is, if I'm correct, I think World Cup is this year. I might be right. I have to go double back and check, but I believe World Cup is this year. If you watch the World Cup, and if it is this year, watch it. Watch how the fans show up for their country. They show up, and it's a culture thing, man. It's not so much of, yes, our team is here. It's more of our culture is playing, and we want to embrace it. And then when those players look up and they see their people in the stands and they can identify their people, it's like an energy boost, and that's why they go out there and play harder. Yeah, they'll play good for the teams they play for, if it's the Bundesliga or the Premium League, or if it's Serie A, or if it's whatever league they play in for soccer. But when it comes to the World Cup and you're going back to play for your country, they'll play hard. You see what I'm saying? And they'll go as hard as they can for it. And, it's always about culture. So, from Mookie, from Bobby and Adrian, shout out to what you're doing. I'm upset that y'all did upset us, but I am proud that we got that World Series. So, Braves Nation, stand up, let them know.
just know, man, goddamn. Just know, Mookie, and there's a whole new follow, because I'm not the only one, and Adrian's not the only one. There's a whole. I do predict, and I do believe there's going to be a whole new wave of African Americans playing the game of baseball, because it is a lot more kids that are playing now. So it's just going to take a little. We got a little behind, but we catching back up.
Yeah. So catching up, Kirby Smart got the granddaddy of them all. That joker got an extension.
Where your damn Bulldog shirt at? You got some Bulldog.
Man. Man, I think, the time will come when the season arrives,
Oh, okay.
and I will flood your channels, people, with the Dog Nation. But I'm about to flood you with it now with this Kirby Smart. This man, and real quick before I go any further, before we give a shout out to him, like I understand like the NIL, and he made a comment about how NIL and people are saying that him, Saban, they all whining and they're not happy because the power is being taken from them and this and that. And that might be the case, but I look at it from both sides. I see how the NIL. I'm glad that a lot of these young men and women actually in any of those athletic programs are getting opportunity to get this NIL money because these schools make millions off of these players' name, likeness, and image. They've been doing it
for
for
years.
I don't know how long.
For years.
You know what I mean? They've been doing it for how long? Kids got suspended for it. Reggie Bush lost his Heisman for it. Todd Gurley got suspended for it. USC got pretty much shut down after that, and that's when it just went downhill from them. Tennessee pretty much ended up cleaning house of almost everybody that was there, plus the players because of it. And then boom, NIL comes out. Let these kids make their money. These kids deserve it. They're out there putting in timeless work for it. But it goes both hands. It goes both ways for the coaches as well. You cannot knock a coach that if he started or she started at a lower end, like for example, Kirby Smart started at Valdosta State. He didn't get a lot of money he wasn't even a coach. I think he was like an assistant, as an assistant analyst. And if you were at Valdosta State as an analyst, you're not making. I mean, it's a small program. It's a small group of 5 program they don't play real big schools, and if they do play big schools, they getting paid $1 million to come there, pretty much get their heads knocked off just to leave with $1 million that those players won't see, but the school will get it. Yeah. So if a coach starts himself at the bottom and then works his way up to the top to earn that kind of money, it shouldn't be a bad thing when somebody starts at it. It's just, as I say, it goes both ways. Yep. If it's no more different if I'm working at a job and I'm putting in this time work at my job and I want to continue to move up in the company, there shouldn't be a problem with somebody moving up and earning cash flow. Yeah. Kirby got the. I mean, they pretty much flew in his bank account, and and helicopter dropped it to his house. But
they took care of my boy.
They took care of him. But I think that people just got to understand. You got to look at it how it comes both ways. It's no more different. But I think folks take a lot of comments out of context and they run with it. And that's the thing with media. You got to watch out. Media will run with it. And, Shannon Sharp made a good point that, a lot of these coaches, get all this money and this and that. But a lot of coaches earn to get that money. It's not like they just, it's just not like Kirby just came out of thin air and he got this mega contract. He worked his way to where he's at. He's 40-something years old making this kind of money. So it's not like he just walked into it at age 25 and making this kind of money. It's a big difference. It was earned. He put in work and time, and he got to it. But moving to it, like $112.5 million, man.
Yeah,
10 years.
I know. Before you get into it, I know you about to get into it, but I didn't watch Shannon Sharp. But I don't. I think we felt the same way. I just don't. I don't like Nick Saban, and he did come out. Kirby say it's. I think it's great for both. Yeah. But didn't Georgia benefit off the NIL too?
Yeah, everybody benefits off of it.
I mean, look, I guess the way I look at it, and I don't. If he did say this, fine. If Shannon said it or whatever, but this is my thoughts. My thoughts on it, and then the Kirby Smart because he said it. It's like to me, there's backhanded stuff going on behind the scenes, man.
Oh, man.
They're taking care of these players. Yeah, if they're in them houses. If they take care of their moms. These boosters, man, come on, man. It's different paperwork, different names. It's loopholes, man. So, but now it's different because it's just like basketball. I know we get into what or I do with the other co-host, Jeff. But this is why I like player empowerment. And as soon as the quote unquote gatekeepers, they lose a little bit of power. You see the foundation is starting to crack a little bit. Yeah. And by them speaking out like this and whining, complaining, come on, Nick, you are a powerhouse. Even if you don't win a championship every year, most people are going to Alabama, man. You're going to get that. Well, now it's going to might be a little different.
Oh, the playing field's open up.
it's open up. But it's like that's what I hate. Like this has been going on for years, and now the players are getting. This is the first year that the players are getting a little bit of money. Now we're trying to peel back, and we need to do something about this. We need to do something. No, that's not right. So that's my only thing. It's like, do you really care about the players? Because like you only got it for a couple years anyway. Like the premier players, you got it for like a year or two, maybe 3, but most of them a year or 2. So do you really care about their well-being? Because again, it's like the NFL. This is a product. This is a business, and business didn't make money. Because if the business don't make money, it's gonna shut down. And the players are the business, so they need to get paid for the product, which they are on the field. Their name, image, and likeness. But we'll go ahead. That's the only thing that bothers me about these coaches. I think a lot of them come out and just try to save face. Like, I care about the. I mean, I believe they do, but I believe they care about their money and themselves more.
Yeah, product, and I think a lot of those coaches, like and like I say, I look at it from both ends, and I see it from both ends of the thing. But I think a lot of coaches, especially the ones who actually whining, like complaining, like like how Kirby said that a player should earn, he should, don't want to give an NIL deal until he proves it on the field. Okay, that's a good point. That's a real good point. Like you don't want to sign a kid like one of the ones that is rumors speculate, like in Tennessee there was a kid that signed for $8 million, and there was another kid that actually signed, I think it was Miami, signed a quarterback for like $9 million. Like you don't know what he has done. That part I understand. Like I'm the same way. It's I'm not going to sign somebody for $9 million or whatever, and I don't know the whole contract, but to sign them for that amount of money, or to they haven't signed them yet, but to hold them to come to this school to play for the school for that kind of amount of money, you need to prove on the field. But a lot of these coaches are in their feelings because, like you said, a lot of the power is leaving. I just feel as if I just think some people take things out of context when it comes to the name, image, and likeness. And I think it goes both ways. Like, I think a lot of kids should, if you're going to go to school, the school giving you stuff, but the school, I mean, those schools only give them pennies and crumbs. Like, they give them a new car. They'd be like, all right, you come here, we'll get you a car. You know what I mean? They get them a car, or they'll pay for their pay their mother's car off, or they'll, do this and that. It's just like the young man that played for Memphis Grizzlies when he, not Memphis Grizzlies, the Memphis team, he ended up dropping out of the I forgot his name. I'm gonna look him up, fans. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna look him up, but he ended up moving to Memphis, and it comes out to find out the coach paid for his family to move to Memphis, but they're saying that he did it as a booster, but it was way before they even considered, way before the coach was even the head coach of that team. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't the head coach of the team at the time.
Okay.
Oh man, I forgot that kid's name, man. But I definitely look him up, and I definitely look him up and see.
Well, go ahead and look him up because I just. But like I said, I like what they're doing. I think there should be contingencies, like. But the other thing, I guess, I know we talked about the NIL, but there's just so much to talk about with this. But like they knew this was coming too, right? They've had to known that this was coming. So it's. So why weren't there? Let me ask this, and this is something maybe I should know, and I don't know, maybe but who was responsible for implementing the NIL? Who's responsible?
So I believe NIL really, and this is just something that I'm just speculating, but I feel as if NIL came about after NCAA, the football game, got sued. I forgot if I'm correct, his name was like O'Brien or something like that. He was a basketball player for UCLA, and he saw himself on his kids or his cousins or whatever. Somebody was playing the game, and he pretty much saw himself on it. And he knows the game was making money off his name, but he didn't see, he felt as if it was just making a profit off of his name. So that's when they went to the courts, and that's when they went to the whole suing process, and then they end up winning. And I think that's when it really started for that whole kicking up the NIL. And this happened years ago, but I think that was in the works ever since then, because more schools kept getting caught. More schools kept getting caught for the boosters and this and that, and then it just kept going and going. And I think that's when it really happened.
Okay.
So I don't know when it definitely started, but I do know that it was something that kicked it off.
Because just like anything, something like this has to go through an approval process. It's not something that's not done overnight. It's something where you got a group of it's a meeting of the minds come together that are obviously very knowledgeable in football, but lawyers, contracts, stuff like that. And that's something we should look up. But that's something I would love to know. Like, a lot of these coaches are complaining, and I understand the complaints. Like you said, it's valid. But I because it is hard to justify, like, dang, I gotta give like somebody, because this is the same, and it happens in football too. Just because you're number one pick doesn't mean you're going to pan out. And and these teams that now number one pick quarterback is at least $20+ million guarantee if you're number one pick. So like you that's a great rookie contract, but it doesn't mean that you're going to pan out. So should they assume the same risk NFL owners should be? I don't know. That's a different topic. But if I was a coach, or if I was the director of athletics, owner, whatever, or not owner, but director of athletics in college, I would want a little bit more contingency in place. Like I got to give up this much money for this, and I don't know how he's going to translate to the game. It's all about translating, right?
Yeah.
So I just wish we need to find out who's in the room and who's responsible, and what's the approval process, because there should be a contingency in the contract. It should be.
Yeah. And to piggyback to what I was talking about, it was Penny Hardaway. He's the head coach of the Memphis Tigers basketball team. And it was James Wiseman.
James Wiseman. Yeah,
that was Warriors. Yeah, you remember. And he ended up sitting out the rest of that season because they was pretty much going to suspend him, and he said, "I'm sitting out." He went ahead and got ready for the NBA draft. But
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's another thing, is like, I just feel like, a lot of these schools, everybody does it. I mean, every school does it. Well, they don't have to worry about it now because it's legal. There's nothing wrong with buying a player. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think a lot of like you said, and like a lot of people I agree with a lot of people that these coaches fear losing the grip on the sport. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could really see Nick Saban, like, could he retire early? I don't think so. I think he'll still get the recruits that he wants because the boosters will spend the money. Same thing with Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart has nothing to worry about. Like I said, that's what I said. I think people take it out of context. I don't really feel as if Kirby and Nick Saban are really nervous. It's just one of those situations they just speaking on it because, truth be told, they're old school. That's how I look at it. They're old school. Yeah. It's no more different than a lot of them coaches speaking on it because they're old school. Hell, Ryan Day even came out. The head coach of Ohio State was like, we need $13 million for this. Hell, the player CJ Strauss has a G-Wagon. They got that man a G-Wagon. Some of these players pulling up and I don't care. You ball out, especially if you balling out. You know what I mean? Like, as players on a Georgia team that got NIL deals for commercials, like, before JT Daniels got injured, he had I want to say a Zaxby's commercial. Yeah. He was in Zaxby's.
Shout
Jordan
out to Zaxby's too, man. I had Zaxby's the other day. Shout out
there
to
y'all. Zaxby's. And then Jordan Davis, he had the Gorilla Glue contract. You see what I'm saying? DJ Uiagalelei, he was in the Dr. Pepper commercials leading up to the season until he, laid an egg that whole season. And if you notice, they stopped playing his commercial. So I think that's the hidden thing that people don't talk about. In these NIL deals, I think it's more of how you perform is how your commercial gets played, and how you get paid. Because when DJ Uiagalelei, when the season was leading up to it, they kept playing a commercial, that Dr. Pepper commercial. And you remember that one he came through, he was like, this is the draft portal? This is something like that. And he popped in. As the season went on, they were like, buddy, you is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with JT Daniels. His actual commercials didn't keep playing because he wasn't playing. It was like, there's no point for us to play your commercial if we're not going to see you on the field. So, and it's just like, you know, a lot of people, and this is what kills me. And before we move on, and I know, hey, congratulations, Kirby Smart, on your extension, big blow up. But real quick before we move on to the next topic,
yeah.
This is one thing that pissed me off was Florida State had a commit. They had this commit for a long time. I know a lot of fans know what I'm talking about. They had a commit for a long time. You know, for a good little minute, they were saying that it was going to be Georgia was going to get him. You know, that's what they were saying. They said, "Oh, Georgia's going to get him." You know, Georgia's going. No, they said Georgia's going to flip him. They were saying Georgia was going to flip the recruit, and you know, Georgia didn't flip the recruit. And his name is Travis Hunter. I'm bad with names. His name is Travis Hunter.
Want to go play Dion? You want to go play Dion? Yeah.
And this that I got real pissed off, and I was like mad the way people reacted. Soon as he got up there and was like, you know, I'm gonna go to Florida State, took the hat, threw it away. Like, nah. He got to the Georgia hat. He goes, yeah, this is home, but nah, that's not where I want to go. Toss the hat.
Yeah.
He pulled out that JSU, and everybody went wild. And I mean, the media world, Twitter world. Oh man, they dropped the bag on him. They dropped the bag, and I'm thinking, who don't drop the bag on these players? Like, this is the NIL era. It's like, and it's like, you know what, Dion, do it again.
Yeah,
keep doing it. Yeah, make them mad. You know, like, and you know what's really pissing me off is like JSU. They're gonna get television. They go, oh yeah, JSU. They finally getting some good television. It's on ESPNU.
Yeah,
ESPNU was like the low, like the quality is not even nothing. They're not gonna get no headline commentators. They're not gonna get a Greg McElroy or what's another big commentator in college football. Man, hold on, man. I'm just bad with names. In college football, man. But there's a bunch of big time whatever. But there's a bunch of big time commentators, and they're not gonna get.
The guy with the I ain't gonna disrespect him like that. But the main dude that's always on ESPN on First Take.
Not Stephen A. You're not talking about
Mr. College Football. You got Kirk Herbstreit. I know him.
Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, that's another one. Kirk Herbstreit. They want him to get a Kirk Herbstreit. You see what I'm saying?
The other guy, bald head, hair on the side, skinny guy.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We always do the hat selections. The helmet. Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah, that's another thing. They won't go down there for JSU have their they got their rivalries, but they won't get that recognition down there. They won't get a game day college down in JSU the same that they will get like for example, Alabama's playing Texas in week 1.
Yeah,
that might just get a game day. That just might get a game day headline.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? It just might get a game day headline. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. I was happy when I saw that. Like I was, if he would have came to Georgia, I'd have been like, run it up. But when he went to JSU to go play with Deion Sanders, I said that's even better. And another thing that I like is that Deion Sanders' kids follow him there. His daughter plays basketball at that school. Both his sons, his quarterback son plays there. His defensive back son plays there as well. Like that, he's building a good product. I mean, he even did good in the transfer portal. He got some good players in the transfer portal. So, the fact that everybody was like, I mean, Twitter world went crazy. Travis went, Twitter went so crazy. It couldn't even, people was like, well, he dropped the bag. This is just messing up the sport. This isn't right. Like, how isn't it right? Because he's doing something that Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, Dabo Sweeney, all of them have been doing. All he did was the same thing the rest of these big Power 5 coaches did.
Yeah.
He's just doing it. And you know what I mean? I say, if let bygones be bygones. If you can do it, I can do it. Who makes you think it's any different? It's just because it's JSU. It's a small group of 5 school that for a long time didn't have nothing going for them. Yep. The only big thing JSU had was the Sonic Boom Band, and that was it. That was the biggest thing they had. And a lot of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say the Sonic Boom, but that's what they had going for them. You bring Deion Sanders down there, he's bringing everything. Changed up their locker room. He's getting endorsement from people, even apparently, Barstool even helped out with them. It's like, let the man do his thing. So
and for me, I'm just gonna say shout out to Deion Sanders too. Just period, just for what he's doing at JSU, and he's making not only making a statement, but he's revolutionizing college football. And another thing that it was a small headline, and I think it's because of who he is, and it's like, oh, everybody assumes he has all this money. Let me tell you something about money. Just because you got money doesn't mean you have to use it for good.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, like that's just a fact. Like you can have your money and do what the heck you want with your money. You know, you don't have to. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta donate. I gotta do this for charity. You do what the heck you want with your money. But he donated half his salary back into JSU so they can have more state of the art equipment. But that was a small headline on ESPN, and it will be small because it's like, oh, it's Deion Sanders. It's prime time. He's always had everything his whole life. So what does that mean? But that's his salary. He just like you, Adrian, and just like I do, we get paid a salary. He doesn't have to. We don't have to donate our salary. Now I don't know anything about Kirby Smart or what Nick Saban's done, but I don't know. Have they donate a portion of their salary, or if they use booster money or sponsorships or other stuff to upgrade the facilities? Would somebody who it takes a lot to do that? But shout out to Deion Sanders.
Yeah, shout out to Deion Sanders, and again, congratulations, Kirby Smart.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a dog fan, and
I'm about to say, what you think? My question: Do you think it's? What do you think about it? Is it worth the 10 years?
So the contract for the 10 years, I think, is good to hold them in, to get them locked in. The 110, the 112. I mean, so here's my take on it: is, don't get me wrong, for the time that he was at Georgia from 2016 to what he did in 2021 for I'm gonna just count the 2021 season, not the 2022 because we haven't started. But from 2016 to 2022, he's done a phenomenal job. Really, like I mean, the first year I believe we went 7-6, went to a bowl game, won that one, and then the following year we went to the national championship.
Okay.
And then the following year after that, we only lost, I want to say, one game. So he's always, and we lost one. Lost a New Year's Six Bowl to Texas, bounced back, beat Baylor in the New Year's Six Bowl, bounced back again. We beat somebody else so he's been doing very well, recruiting wise, getting us in the right spot. I feel as if Kirby is a great coach when it comes to dedication, commitment, and just changing the culture and being to the next level. He always thinking ahead. He's always trying to prevent a mistake. Like the comment, like he said, was, I like the comment. He goes, as he says that, we're not going to be the ones getting hunted. We're going to be doing the hunting. So after they won a national championship, he doesn't care about, people feel like you defend your national championship and people always run with it. Like, yeah, we're going to defend it. But he's like, defending what? He's already thinking about the new players that's playing. Like, what are y'all defending? Y'all went on in the field when they played the game to defend the national, playing to get the national championship. It was the starters the all 15 starters that ended up getting drafted. It was those that played that got that and really earned that national championship. Y'all need to earn this next championship. You want a national championship, you need to earn it. So it's not so much of you defending something. You're not defending anything. You're earning it. So we're gonna hunt the hunters. So if you want to be the one hunting us, well, unfortunately, we're hunting you. So I like that mentality.
I love that mindset.
112 million. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, but one national championship, I feel as if, let's see what you do, see if we can get another. And I feel as if Kirby Smart could really win 4 national championships at Georgia.
Wow.
As long as he keeps recruiting. Yeah, I can see. I mean, if you look at how he's recruiting. If you look at the recruiting class, we've been in the top 3 for the past 4 years. 1, 3, I think 1, and then 3, or 2 or whatever, however it falls, we've been in the top 3.
Yeah.
I would say this would be the only year that we'll be in the top 5. Yeah. If not top 5, we'll be in the top 10. This would be probably the only year where we fall out of it. But the recruiting year is still going. I mean, kids don't sign until December. So you still got a long time to go. But I'm just looking at it as, I think this right here helped the recruiting. Yeah. People might say this might scare recruits off. No, because what it did, it also sent a message like, Georgia has the NIL money. That's one thing Kirby Smart didn't say that they didn't have. He said they got the NIL money. He just didn't put out there what they had. So, play his hands close. He play poker.
Yeah. No, they won that championship, man. They want to taste that again.
Yeah, he won it again. Like I mean, who doesn't want that? But I mean, I think it's one of the ones like he wants that national championship, but he wants to get it without that, careless way of getting it. Like he wants to get it the same way he got it the first time. He wants to get it again. And the only way you can get it again, you got to have that same hunger, that same will to keep grinding, working to get it. And I'm telling you, I can see Kirby getting 4 more. Now I know all the comments will get, Kirby Smart's not getting 4. Well, you all compared him to Mark Rick, and he ended up getting 1. So now what it is, you know what? And the shout out, what, Stetson Bennett, I was the biggest doubter of you. I still think you got some mechanics you need to work on, but overall, I give it to him. You was a walk on. Everybody doubted you, and you came in there and you shut everybody up. I still think you got some mechanics. That's just my opinion from looking on the outside in, but.
But you know the advantage you guys have too. This is something that I just thought about. You guys are not in Atlanta, so you don't have distractions. UGA's in Athens.
Go to Athens and then you let me know about distractions.
I've been to Athens.
Go there now.
Compared to Atlanta?
Well, compared to Atlanta, yeah. No, I mean, compared to Atlanta, it's a country town. Yeah. Compared to Atlanta, it's a country town.
Yeah, that's all. Now the distraction they have there is college, parties, fraternity, all that. Yeah, it's distraction. Yeah. But I'm talking about Atlanta. We know distractions in Atlanta. So that's a lot of football players. And it's like it's a good thing you boys are not in Atlanta. Like Alabama. What's it to do in Alabama?
I guess
not too much. Football. So but that's just one little small caveat. But go ahead.
But
I can kind of see him winning. I can see that too, man.
I can see him winning 4. I think he'll win 3, maybe 2 the most.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? I can see him winning 4 if he doesn't get stubborn. You see what I'm saying? Like one thing I say, man, is NIL. You coaches, y'all better learn to adapt and grow with it. And if it's a slaughter, if it's like the Wild Wild West, let it be the Wild Wild West. You just better find a way to fit yourself in it and then create it where you can still control it. Like, everybody be like, oh, they're complaining. I can promise you this. If they had the power then, they're going to still have the control and power even in NIL. I don't care what you think it is. It's not going, I can promise you this. It's not going to change the fact who still has the gauntlet.
Yeah.
If Alabama and Ohio State and the Clemsons and your Georgias had the gauntlet then before NIL, all you did was made it worse because now it's going to be, well, who can really afford it?
Yep.
That's what's going to really come down to. Like all these schools who's dropping all these bags on these players, that's good. Can you really afford to do that every recruiting class? I promise you this, Alabama can do it. I promise you this, Clemson can do it. Georgia can do it. Ohio State definitely can do it. USC can do it. You just give USC 2 more, 3 more years, they'll be right back in the race. So if everybody's saying, oh, the everything is about to expand for all the schools, everybody about to get a piece of pie. No, what you about to do is about to get one slice, see how it tastes, and then they're gonna come and take that pie and be like, what? All right, well, we want our pie back. And that's all going to happen. The ones who can afford to do it is going to be able to continue to do it.
This goes back to our first topic with baseball, and what I wanted to mention, which I can mention it now with college football. Yeah. College football, they have deep pockets. And they don't, and some of these universities, they have no cap. Yeah. Baseball doesn't have a cap, bro. If they want to pay a player $100 million, well, they already done, but they want to pay a player $100 million per year. Yeah. They like for the next 12 years, they can sign a guy to a 15-year contract and give him $100 million per year if they wanted to.
Who's that player? Oh, who's that player? His last name is like Bolini or something like that. He's a Cuban descendant. Yeah, and he gets paid up until like 2035 for like
Bobby Bonilla.
$12 million or something like that.
His agent is the greatest agent of all time, and he should be. If he was my agent and he got me that deal, bro, you were part of the family.
He doesn't have to do nothing, man.
Nothing. That was the greatest, and he took advantage of it that year because the Mets were in financial crisis. So to save them money that year, he was like, "Okay, I'll save you money this year, but you're gonna be paying me $1 million." For like the next 20 plus. Mm-hmm. Like that's the deal of a life after I retire. Like that's the deal of a lifetime, man. Like that's the type of generational wealth that we don't think about. Like we're like, I want this now money, not knowing that tax is going to take half of that, but another topic. But no, what I wanted to say with the college is baseball has deep pockets, and a lot of that money is old money, and they just pass it down to their families, their sons and daughters, cousins, whoever takes over the team. College is the same way. They have a lot of that. Like some of these teams, like you said, is a really good point. It got me thinking. Like it's give it a couple years, and you're gonna see there's gonna be a huge gap. Because they're gonna be like, teams gonna be like, hey, I gotta dig in my pocket. Oh, ain't nothing there. And there's gonna be another team like, oh, I got years and years of this because I want to win championships. So
like,
just like baseball.
It's and it's real quick before we move to the next topic. It's one thing you gotta, like I tell people, with this college football realignment, all this is doing, NIL is really helping it. NIL is helping it. It's really showing the ones who can afford and the ones that can't. You're gonna have a lot of schools, like I'm saying, like with USC and UCLA jumping in the Big Ten. That was really a money purpose. It wasn't no geographic thing, because it's if it's geographic, it doesn't make sense. Like you're asking for people from California to travel all the way to somewhere in Pennsylvania in November.
Yeah.
Like, it's cold as all get out there. You ask them young boys, a lot of them boys out there in California and USC and Cal, just any parts of USC and UCLA. A lot of them are local kids. So you ask them to go out there and play in that cold weather, it's a shock. Or you asking them boys from the East Coast to go play down there in US and the West Coast in that different time zone, it's a culture shock.
Yeah.
So I just think with this realignment, you're going to have these big powerhouses, and these big powerhouses are going to eat up these little ones, and then you're going to really have it's going to look like the NFL.
Yeah,
you're going to have your northern your northern West Coast conference and your Midwest Eastern Southern conference, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to cut the country literally at a diagonal cut. That's what's going to be at a diagonal. It's not going to be down the middle. It ain't going to be across. It's going to be diagonal. It's going to cut it at diagonal, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to have your Midwest teams like your Oklahomas, your Texas, and your maybe like your Nebraskas or whatnot. They're going to transition to one side. You're going to continue to have your West Coast teams do the same thing, like your Oregon teams, your Washington teams. All that's going to do the same thing. Your Arizona team. That's what's just going to happen. And NIL is really going to feed it, because, like I said, these schools that always had the money, you got to look at it. If they always had this money, and the only thing they've been doing to get these kids is buying them a car, paying their mother's car off, paying rent, that ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket.
Man.
So they got money. So what they about to do? Okay, y'all, for the ones who get the number one class this year, the ones who get all right, no problem. How much money you really got? How many times can you do that? Because we can do it. We can do it 10 more times, and then don't let the ones who really got the power win another championship. So they get money from those televisions, shows, and the coaches getting bonuses from this and that. Let them keep doing that. What's going to happen is just keep building up money. Then you're going to have your powers and your little ones, and then you're going to have those little ones, cancel their programs.
Man, this topic, see, this is such a good topic, man, because this topic opens up so many different conversations. I have another conversation. I know we got to move on to the next topic, but man, like we're going to talk about in the next podcast with the NIL deals. But the topic is, because these 18 and 19-year-olds are getting this money, they're going to need attorneys, guidance. But attorneys, because look, I'm being honest. I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm getting $1 million. I'm thinking at 19 years old or 20, I'm keeping that whole mill, not knowing that half of that is tax or a portion of that tax. So you're already going in. It's kind of a setup too, because it's a great thing, but it's also you can go into debt if you don't handle your money the right way.
And that's the thing that Kirby Smart said. Is that people? Okay. That's the thing. Yeah. That's another thing. See, that's the thing. That's what I said. People take things. They take what they want to hear and they run with it. When he was at the SEC Media Days, he said the biggest thing is protecting the young men from the crooked ones that's in the NIL world. So, like you said, that's another topic we'll talk on. But again, congratulations, Kirby Smart, bring another natty. And speaking of contract extensions, that Kyler Murray, man, Jesus Christ, man. You know what?
Kyler Murray.
I don't know, man. Like, you tell me how you feel about this one, man. Because I don't know. I mean, did he really do a lot to earn it? That's my
No, he
thing.
doesn't win a playoff game. But I guess for me, I was listening to Ryan Clark about him earlier today, and he made some good points where he said, look, he earned it because he's revolutionized the quarterbacks for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Just the Cardinals. Because I felt like, damn, they ain't revolutionized the quarterback position. No, he's revolutionized it for the Cardinals. So who's the last Cardinals premier quarterback? Carson Palmer? That's who you got. So, and unfortunately, some of these teams are in like a right now, like either I gotta pay this guy or I gotta go back in the draft and maybe find somebody. So if I'm playing, it's like playing poker, man. You gotta look at your hand and you gotta play the hand that you're dealt. Kyler Murray is not a bad hand to have, but it's not the best to have. It's not a flush. So from an owner, without giving him max that money, I kind of feel like I had to. Is his ceiling high? Is his ceiling met yet? No. Does he have a lot of maturing to do? Hell yeah. Because I'm not a fan of him. I don't see him taking a team and winning a Super Bowl. But it's like one of those, okay, what else is in the market? You got to start all over again. So it's to me, because thank God, like our co-head said, what does our co-head say about football? Oh, it's a 52-man game.
Yeah.
More than just a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Thank God that is that, because I think it's going to be more of the people around him, if they do win a championship, that's going to, that can help that team. But it's not going to be, they're going to need more than Kyler Murray.
And you know what's crazy? So there's an article out. They said his 46.1 million annual salary was almost that of the entire 2022 payroll of the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, crazy.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Like, look, I feel as if Murray he's a good quarterback. Is he a Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? No. He hasn't shown what those two have done. Is he Aaron Rodgers? No. Is he who's another good quarterback? Hell, is he a Justin Herbert?
No.
Think about it. Like, if you had those two playing against each other, I bet you the betting line will lean more to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Even
Josh Allen.
Hell, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. So I think, Kyle Murray, good. I watched him in college. He was good. But I think in NFL, it comes down to a leadership, tangible. And the question is does he have that? Because I remember that one game they had, he was frustrated.
Ooh.
He threw his helmet and pretty much throwing a temper tantrum. And it's like, man, look, man, this is one of the things I say about football. It's a game of inches, and it's all about what did you do. And you got 4 quarters. Each quarter is 15 minutes. What play did you read? What route did you run? What, A gap, B gap. What gap did you take? How did you read your zone? How did you read your block? Like, that's where it comes down to. And that's why I say it's a game of inches with sports. So, he can sit there and do all the tangible.
And you got to be able to lead men.
Yeah.
Not just men, grown men. They got families to take care of. They got bills, lifestyles to maintain. Yeah. You can't come in there like me and you are big on that. Like that's if you're going to get the quarterback position, is just the position that gets paid the most because they are the leaders of the team. I don't care what you do. If you have got to be a leader of men. Yeah. If you can't lead men, and I'm talking about grown men too in their 30s, 35, Tom Brady 40, Yeah. I don't know how you're going to survive, but
yeah. So, I just think Kyle Murray, congratulations as well on your extension. Yeah. You better show up this season, buddy, because that's a lot of money. It also kind of makes me think, what does that leave the head coach, Cliff Kingsbury? Because to pay that quarterback that much, are you paying that much to keep him there, and do you have your eyes on somebody else? Because they pulled Cliff from the college level to come there because I guess they saw something in him, but I think for a lot of people, it's like there's a lot left on the table with Cliff Kingsbury. It's like, he's a great offensive mind, and he's great with a lot of things, but I think it's left with, okay, that's good, man, but can you lead a team in the NFL? Can you create a culture with grown men and to get them to buy into your culture? That's a challenge. Like, it's one thing if you're a head coach for a college and you get an 18-year-old and a 19 or 20-year-old, like, they're still learning life, so they're willing to listen to you with everything that you have to offer. But when you get these grown men that's been playing in the NFL, some of them have already been there for 3 years already, or 5, 10 years, they're seasoned vets, and you're coming in the locker room and you're a young head coach, a new head coach from the college range, and it's not like you did a lot at Texas Tech. So, you got to keep that there. So it's not like he did a lot at Texas Tech. He did good with what he had, but I think it's one of those situations that, Cliff better get it together, because I can just see, maybe 2-3 years down the road, another disappointing season. I think a good season for the Cardinals is going past or making the playoffs.
Making the playoffs. That's a great season.
That's a great season. Making the playoffs. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things. It's like making the playoffs. It's one thing if you're a team like everybody expect, like the Lions, or they know that they're in a rebuilding process. But if you're like,
but on paper, the Cardinals they're nasty. They're nasty. I mean, they should be way better than what they put on the field. Look, and like the comment on that Cliff, like I think with college, I think with the coaches, I think the same thing's gonna happen to Matt Rule over the with the Panthers. I'm strong about him too, but because I'm not a fan of him, I'm not a fan of Cliff. But I just think, and I think that's why a lot of college coaches have a trouble transitioning to the NFL, because to kind of piggyback a little bit what you said and extend it, is that they are more dictators, and because they are the gatekeepers for these kids, and they can tell a kid, hey, look, this is what you need to do to get to the NFL. Listen to me. Look at my resume. I've gotten all these players in. So if you don't listen to what I say, you're not going. As opposed to when you get to NFL, these grown men are like, Coach, I'm 10 years in. Matter of fact, I'm older than you. Yeah. Like in Sean McVay's case, because for the Rams, because he's 35. Yeah. I'm going on 36. So it's a different level of respect, and you got to be able to connect with the players on a different level, as opposed to, because when you talk about teenagers and young adults, you tell them what to do. You're guiding them, you're teaching them, and you're still teaching in NFL. But when it comes to NFL, you're more of, you're teaching, but you also got to be able to lead grown men. And I think a lot of college football coaches that try to come to the NFL, they have a hard time doing that. And I think Pete Carroll's successful because he has the ability to connect with the players.
Yeah. He knows how to listen. I think that's one of the things, is listening, and then taking what you hear and manifesting that into a leadership tangible. And real quick, just looking at the Arizona Cardinals depth chart, we can just start with a few starters, like the quarterback Kyle Murray, running back James Conner, which he did pretty well. Then you got DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown and AJ Green. Like, you got speed, hands, and routes. Like, that's what you got. You got the hands of DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown, the speed, and then AJ Green, which we all know what he can do: route running, jump up ball, and then Zach Ertz. You got Zach Ertz, and then you got left tackle DJ Humphries. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then you go to defensive side, JJ Watts. Yeah. Rashad Lawrence. Look at that. Byron Murphy. Bubba Baker. Buda Baker. Marco Wilson. You got talent on that team. Like, they should be in the playoffs. No wild card.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, YouTube and Arizona Cardinals, if you watching this, if y'all don't make the playoffs, y'all should go march to wherever that stadium at.
Yeah.
And you should go pull Cliff out, find the general managers who gave that contract to Kyle Murray if he doesn't perform. Now, Kyle Murray performs and it's just a fall because of the culture and the locker room fell off. Okay.
Yeah.
But if Kyle Murray shows up and y'all make the playoffs, even if y'all make the playoffs and you get knocked off, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah,
They should be in the playoffs. I'm telling you, the
yeah,
Arizona Cardinals should be in the playoffs.
yeah.
I don't want to hear about our division. I don't want to hear about that. I want to see Arizona Cardinals should be in the playoffs. I mean, we might just do their next prediction. I know we got a different one. We might just go ahead and
tune into that one because that
we might have to go ahead. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's going to be a good one, and that's another team that is good on paper, but just every year they fall short. So
yeah, because I mean, if you look at the division, I mean, they got the Rams, but Seattle is, they're not in a great place right now. Seattle's still a Seattle team just because Pete Carroll's there, so he's not gonna let them flop. But you got Seattle, and you got San Francisco, which I mean, are we gonna get the same San Francisco that we got last year? Because if Jimmy Garoppolo is gone, are they really going to entrust that new rookie to come in and take the wheel?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because you got Deebo Samuel, you got your Army switchblade, so you can have him be an H-back, slot, wide receiver, whatever it is that you want him to be, you can have him be it. Yeah. But I just think, I just think that division, you got the Rams to worry about, but everything else, man, at least playoffs, man. Make some teams scratch their head like, do we really want to play Arizona now they're in the playoffs because they can smell blood?
Yeah.
So, that'd be a good one. But, Kyle Murray, again, congratulations on, your contract extension. I think it's a risky one, but it's, it's the same with Kirby Smart. You won one national championship, but is it really worth all that money? We're gonna see. That's what comes with gambling. Yeah. And for 10 years they got Kirby Smart, and for the next 4 years, Arizona Cardinals got Kyle Murray, or 5 years. I think that's what his contract is.
5 years, man. 5 years. He's under Deshaun because I think he's 146.5 guaranteed, and Deshaun's out of there. Boy, Deshaun got 230 or it 230 guaranteed, right?
I don't, man. You know what, man? Deshaun can just. You know what, man? Deshaun is in a good place. He's in a good place right now, so he's fine. But man, anything else, man? Anything else we got to cover? Good,
man. This everybody look forward to that. The Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. We definitely got to do that prediction because looking at that talent roster, man, I really got to look at their schedule, man. And once we really get the opportunity, I look at their schedule, man, just to see, who they play, man. And I mean, they got the Bengals right off that's a preseason game. But, their regular season, they got the Chiefs right off the back. So that's going to be a challenge, but it's at home for them. Yeah. So you got the Chiefs, you got the Raiders, you got the Rams. First 3 hard games. So we're going to really see who the Cardinals is. If they go 2-1, you got something going for you.
Oh, yeah.
But if they go 3-0, I think that'll be a team you got to really watch out for, because that means Kyler Murray is. I'm not saying they're going to go 3-0. I'm not saying they're going to go 3-0.
No. I'm saying because they do that. No, because they start off hot. Yeah. And then they just fall. Like the last 80 games of the season, it's just like they start losing the games they shouldn't even lose. Yeah. And then they're like, now they're a wild. Then they're a wild card team, and then they don't make the playoffs. So, it's like.
But if you look at their schedule, those first 3 games, Chiefs, Raiders, and Rams, that will be the deciding factor for them. Yeah, I think those first 3 games, because you got teams that can match with you. Chiefs can match with you because you got Patrick Mahomes, the tight end. I forgot his name already. What's the tight end for the Chiefs? Boy,
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Y'all gonna learn that. And then I'm bad with names. You got Travis Kelce. Then they also got the running back. I think Chiefs are fine. Yeah, they lost to Cheetah, but. I think they're fine. After looking at their draft class and see what they brought back, they're fine. Then you got the Raiders. You don't think they're fine?
They're gonna get exposed.
Okay, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, okay, I say this. I don't think I don't think we're gonna see the same type of Chiefs that we've seen in the past 2 or 3 years, but don't think it won't transition the following 2 years after that. That's what I'm saying. Like. I think the Chiefs are going to do well this season. I don't think they're going to do so good that everybody's going to be trying to, scheme against them.
You know what I love about football? This is one thing I love about football, man. And football doesn't take too long for the game to adjust to you.
Oh yeah.
You might be caught off guard a year, 2 years max. It's gonna be 2 years max where they're like, all right, we got you now. You're not gonna be doing this on us no more. A la Lamar. That's why I think he's the Lamar of what we're used to. We're not gonna see that no more. They caught up to it. These we talked about this offline. These defensive backs, these defensive linemen, these safeties, offensive line, they're fast, man. They're just as fast. They shouldn't be that damn fast. So and they're agile. They're quick now. So it's like you got to I think Tom Brady saw what was going on. Like he's like, look, I gotta have 2 or 3 guys. And not like because before back in the day, you could be like, I can have an A guy and the rest can be B's and C's. But as long as I got my number 1 A, I can hold it down. But if you don't have 2 or 3 A's or A minuses or A's, you're gonna struggle because like now before, you able to look in the depth chart and your third cornerback now is damn near just as good as the first one.
Yeah.
So I just think when it comes to the Chiefs, I'm interested in Andy Reid. Is he going to adapt? Because people are catching on, and I think they're going to struggle. And the Bills gave them a run for their money. And as a matter of fact, they should have went to the next round.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think a lot of teams are on them. The Chargers are on their heels. The Bengals are the one who went to the Super Bowl. So the AFC is tough. It's going to be tough, man. And I'm very interested in that season. I can't wait to do their prediction. Because I feel a lot of L's for my prediction. So, but
man, you're gonna have us from the Baltimore Ravens to the Kansas City Chiefs, boy. They're gonna egg everything that we own, man, from the cars to the windows to the mailbox.
Well, bring it on, bring it on, because I feel a 9-7 coming, but we'll see. I got time.
Ooh, 9-7. All right. Well, again, thanks for watching the show.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, everybody. Appreciate y'all checking in with us, just keeping up with everything that we have been doing. But as always, Creative Notice. And check out, that's the new name for the channel. It's Creative Notice. We're going in a new direction. Follow, like, comment. Let us know how you feel. Help us, our algorithm. Help to get us to the next level. Let us know if you don't feel as if we did it right. Let us know so we can continue to improve. Bring some more heat for you. And as always, your boy, Adrian Blackwell, Bobby Douglas. We out. Peace.